Now, I want to take you back to the date of May 27th of last year. You recall that date?
Yes.
And you recall what day of the week it was?
Saturday.
And on that day, in the evening, where do you go?
Go to Harry's Restaurant and Sports Bar.
And why do you go to Harry's?
I go there to watch the basketball game. Pistons are playing that night. It's a playoff game.
Are you meeting anybody there?
Yes.
Who's that?
A friend of mine. His name is Calvin Carr.
About what time do you get up to Harry's?
About 8 o'clock, maybe 8:15.
And do you see Calvin when you get there?
Yes.
Do you have anything alcoholic to drink while you're there?
Yes.
And what do you have at Harry's?
I have beer, 3 beers.
And over what time frame do you drink those beers?
8 to 11:30.
After you leave Harry's, where do you go after that?
Go to a nightclub. It's called Club Intus.
And who do you go there with?
Calvin, my friend.
And what's going on at Club Intus?
It's just a club, socializing, mixing, stuff like that.
And how long do you stay at Club Intus for?
They're there till 2 o'clock.
Do you have anything to drink while you're at Club Intus?
Yes.
And what do you have to drink at Club Intus?
I have 3 beers.
What time does Club Intus close?
It closes at 2.
And after it closes, do you leave immediately from Club Intus?
No.
And what do you do?
Well, I go to the parking lot. Me and Calvin, we sit in the parking lot and we talk for about almost an hour.
And after that, where do you go?
For that, I leave to go home.
And when you're heading home, what route do you take?
Well, this club's on Lafayette, so I take Lafayette to the Fisher Freeway, and the Fisher Freeway south to the Lodge, and then the Lodge on to home.
And when you get on the ramp going from the Fisher Freeway onto the Lodge, what's the traffic like?
It's backed up. When you're trying to get onto the Lodge ramp, there's a line there. There's a line of cars. It's stop and go traffic.
And when you're in this traffic, does anything unusual happen?
While getting onto the Lodge or after we get onto the Lodge?
But while getting onto the Lodge or as you're entering the Lodge?
Well, it's stop and go, getting onto the Lodge, and finally I get onto the Lodge. And it's still stop and go.
Is there any time when your car is actually stopped?
Yeah, it is stop and go. There's times when the car is stopped.
Okay. At any time the car that's stopped in front of you, does somebody get out of the car in front of you?
Yes.
And what kind of car is that?
It's a Monte Carlo. It's a mid-'80s model.
How many people get out of that Monte Carlo?
2 people. 2 guys.
This would represent the car in front of you and your car, okay? And so if you're sitting in your car, can you describe what the surrounding areas and traffic look like?
Well, it's slow go right now on the Lodge Freeway. One of the reasons why there's construction going on. There's construction. Normally there's 3 lanes open, but right now there's only 2 lanes open because the 3rd lane is blocked off. There's barrels in the 3rd lane and blocks off the 3rd lane. And the ramp is kind of like we're just coming into the ramp. There's 2 lanes and it's sort of stop and go. I'm in this lane. There's cars in other lanes, and it's slow go, and there's just very slow traffic.
And the Monte Carlo that eventually stops in front of you, do you see it before it gets in front of you, or is it in front of you when you first see it?
Actually, I see it before. It pulls on, when I first get on the freeway, it pulls up on the right-hand side. I see it on the right-hand side. first, and then it works its way over and gets in front of me shortly after.
At some time, do the occupants, how many occupants are in the car in front of you?
There's two.
And at some time, do they get out of that car?
Yes.
And what do you see when they get out of that car?
When they get out of the car, they get out and they start walking back toward my car. Stop the car, and I'm stopped, and then they get out and start walking back towards my car.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to sit in the seat up to the left. So you show the jury what the driver does when he gets out of the car. I want you to just pretend right now that you're the driver of that Monte Carlo. Show the jury what that individual does.
He gets out, he comes back, and he walks back toward my car.
And what does he do then?
He stops before he gets up to my car, like he's right between the cars. Then he starts motioning to me, or making some kind of motion, and he starts pointing at his car.
And can you, when you're sitting, I want you to sit back in your car. And when you see him do that, can you hear what he's saying to you?
No.
And so the driver gets out of the car, walks back, starts motioning, saying something. What do you do?
I crack my door, my driver's side door. Because, I can't roll my window down because it's broken. So I have to crack the door to hear what he's saying.
And when you crack your door, are you able to hear what he's saying?
Yes.
And what is he saying?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Well, Your Honor, it would go for the effect on the listener, not to the truth of the matter asserted.
So you want to admit that for purposes of establishing why Mr. Edwards did what he did?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, for that limited purpose only, not for the truth of it, but for reasoning as to why Mr. Edwards took the next step, the court will allow that testimony for that reason only, jury.